All right, that is us. And we were flashing these bad boys up a second ago, so why don't I hand it over to Maria to talk about our safety tools, which will be important tonight.
Yes! All right, everyone. You're at a ttrpg table like ours. You know what's important? Safety tools. You know what we have? A couple of them. The first we have are cards, checking cards. XO. These ones, you can flash them up. You will see them tonight. But we use these to silently check in with each other during scenes. To one, not disrupt gameplay unless we need to. But also to make sure that during intense scenes or anything like that, we are checking in with each other to help keep our bodies, brains, spirits, and everything all good and great. The other thing that we have is content warnings in chat. So this is a pre-written adventure. We've already had a whole lot of run-ins with creepy crawly buggies and stuff, and there's probably going to be more of that.
And character death.
And potential character death. You know, it can always happen when you least expect it.
You know what? It's about time.
It's been about a year. We got to do this again.
It's been about a year. I'm due.
Happy anniversary / birthday.
And the
other thing
death. Let's kill Hideaki.
One death a year means one death a level for us. So.
Yeah!
No, because we didn't die at level 2.
We made it through 2. We
did. We got to do every other, though.
Every other.
Is Overnosa a 2-for-1?
I feel like... well, Tal and Hideaki are, definitely, so...
We're not even at the session yet.
Listen, we have one more thing that we use, and that is closed captions. If you would like to turn them on, they are embedded in Twitch. You can turn them on if they are helpful from you. You can turn them off if they do not service you, but you like to be as accessible as possible, even when I mumble.
Yes. Listen, we do our very best. All right.
We are good.
Thank you so much, Maria. Okay,
You're welcome.
So this is around the time where I'm going to take a pause. And then we're going to welcome everybody back in. Hey, everybody, welcome. And
Whoa, where'd you come from?
Whoa, oh gosh, fancy seeing you here. Welcome to our podcast listeners, to our YouTube videos, VOD watchers, and all of those good folks that are here with us right now. So we're going to get into things with a couple of announcements as I open up my tabs. And also, some reminders, I think. So first of all, want to say thank you to Roll20 for partnering with us. We are Roll20 ambassadors, and thanks to that, we have this lovely adventure path here, all ready to rumble in Roll20. Unfortunately, we're kind of going off the rails tonight, but it's okay. We don't need a map where we're going. You just need your character sheet.
You don't need a map of the dead.
I mean,
everything is fine. But we're still thankful to Roll20.
You don't need a map when you don't know where you're going.
Usually, also, by the way, y'all, we are a show and a brand that loves sponsors. So if you would like to sponsor us, real free. I almost said freaking reach out, and I was like, that's a bit aggressive. So I wanted to.
We will hype the shit out of you.
I'm gonna be the aggressor here. Y'all better sponsor us because we're a good show.
You should have sponsored us yesterday.
We're really proud of our audience reach, and if that's something that you want to be shouted all over the rooftops, we will do so. So just reach us at contact@WafflesMapleSyrup.com. And
we're really humble.
We'll chat. Yeah, we're really awesome and super cool.
And look,
professional hype people.
At the end of the day, we'll be just as aggressive forcing people to buy our stuff. So
it's true.
Boom, sponsor us.
Between myself and
y'all,
I'm just kidding.
We're also do it. We're a little excited tonight. There's a lot going on, but it's all good. We also wanted to remind you all that we have a brand new merch store. It's exciting. There's some pictures in our Discord
buy that shirt.
that I'm waiting. I have packages on the way. I'm so excited. But we have some cool stuff there, so you should check it out. And we're gonna upload some more designs when I have a time to do so. And we are all going to be at PAX Unplugged. So if you're going to be there, come check us out. We're super cool. I think we mentioned that. Anyways, be respectful, be kind. We're hoping to see you there, and humble. And we'll have a couple panels that we're going to be on as well. It's really cool and it's really fun. Okay, that's it from me. I think that we have to get some of our nerves out. We have to get ready. So let's take a moment and bring over our emotional support stuffies, our emotional support Bulbasaurs, and our emotional support anything you need, water bottles, etc. We're going to watch that beautiful intro video, get things going here, and we'll see you in class.
Time to die.
Welcome, everybody. See some bouncing, see some excitement. What could possibly be going on?
I'm so scared.
Last we left off, we our almost said intrepid heroes, but it's a different show. Our outcast individuals banded together with the help of the teachers and their fellow classmates to fend off a wave of bug attacks that interrupted the first masking ceremony as our initiates became attendants. And successfully completing the wave of attacks and defeating their foes, a flurry of actions and investigations have been set forth officially from the Magaambya. And as such, the teachers are some have ran through the tunnels that the bugs emerged from. Others are taking care of investigating into the Tambu, seeing who's affected and making sure that their number one priority is protecting the city in which that they reside. The home of the Magaambya is within a Tambu, and they take that responsibility very seriously. As the calming and coming down from that combat occurred, we've had some interesting interactions with family that remained at the ceremony, and others that left. Eventually returning to get some much needed rest one Hideaki decides to have one final conversation with his Eidolon, with his copper dragon that he shares a soul with. And pushing and pulling on some strings found the line as Overnoza drew it with force and unmanifested. Rocking Hideaki with psychic damage, but not just Hideaki, as one already trampled and hurt Tau alone in the Sprout House is racked with equal amounts of damage, leaving them with how many hit points?
3.
3 hit points.
Oof. Oof.
Unbeknownst, however, to Hideaki, who, feeling the loss of a voice in their head, a connection, temporarily, maybe not, unsure, makes their way to bed. Across the halls, however, there's one Arafe, who also is making their way back from the events of the day and returns to her room. Arafe, what's up? How you doing? Y'all thought we'd
been
start
a
with
day.
Hideaki. Ha!
It's been a day with Arafe.
It's been-
So Arafe is going to come into her room and really kind of slam her door behind her. And she's gonna, as she turns around, she sees the note that she has, that she's taped to her wall or her door. She's gonna rip that down, go back over to her bed, start unbraiding her hair. And she's gonna read through that letter that she got from Infar a couple of times. Yafira?
There's a pause, and you're like, "Oh no! Like, are they gone?"
Mhm.
And then, just as you're like about to shift, the shadow kind of swings. Are you sitting on your bed?
Yeah.
You see your shadow, and it's still not. It's hard to get used to just watch your shadow move on its own as it kind of swings around from under the bed and kind of stretches out in front of you. Yes.
I had a question or two for you. I was talking to one of my classmates, Noxolo, and I wanted to ask you, is it okay if I tell my friends about you? Is that okay?
That depends, I think. In general, yes. I can, as you saw with Noxolo, interact to an extent. And so they can see me. And it's up to you if you want to tell them. But it can come with danger to you, Arafe.
Danger? What kind of danger could come from that?
It depends. Depends what series of events unfold from it. It's, like I said, you can tell them. You can. But if they decide to pry, or to push or to pull on things that you are not ready to and you see them like struggling to and there's a very like a strain, and you watch the shadow kind of like being like almost kind of fading a little bit backwards from this like the stretched position, and it's fading backwards, and it's like fighting and coming back, and it's just like to just careful.
Okay. I just figured maybe they could help me at some point, but I can make it very clear that this is something very tentative that we need to be very careful with, and that I don't want to lose you.
I don't want to lose you either. And it's like kind of like almost like a slight coming back from this sort of very, very like strained piece, and the shadow kind of grows in length a little bit again as it seems to like whatever that was kind of like shrinking them back, almost like a wave subsiding.
I mean, I've been trying to figure things out, but my friends are much smarter than I am. They may be able to figure some things out that I can't.
Why do you say that?
I mean, you've been around them. They're all extremely smart.
They may be. But I think that even alone with me, you'd figure things out.
I think
You
we
always
could.
do.
Well, I mean, I'm not stopping till we do, so eventually it has to work. And she laughs a little bit, and then she looks down at the letter that's in her hand, and she's actually going to get up and kind of turn away a little bit. I had one more question, and I don't expect a lot of detail. It's just more of a yes or a no, if you can. You said you remember In Far From Before, right?
Yes.
Has Infar ever cared for me beyond what I can do?
The shadow shifts again to you because you turned around to kind of come in front of your line of sight. Even though it's just a shadow and there's no eyes that you see, you sense the shadow watching you carefully. Arfe? Tell me the answer to that.
Here it's no. I think it's no.
There's like a hand that reaches out off the ground kind of towards you. And it's just so strange every time now, which is happening a little bit more often lately when the shadow basically goes from 2D to 3D. And as it does, it's kind of like, even though you're staring at it and it's slightly 3D, that it's shadow, so like light doesn't hit it, so it's still 2D. It's very, very odd. And it's
very Kingdom Hearts.
yeah, and it reaches a hand out towards you. Like,
and she's gotten into the instinct now of when it comes out, her going to it. Like that first time she pulled back and she, in her mind, said, I will never do that again. So she always goes for it when it pops up now.
So you grab her hand. And there's this moment of hesitation. And all of a sudden you feel this pull, like it's gripping your hand tightly. And almost like somebody using you for leverage, the shadow shoots up off the ground, facing you directly as it goes. Exactly. And then it just absolutely like melts down to the ground and disappears. And you see your regular shadow.
So she's going to stand up, because I think you said it was from the ground, so she'll stand back up. And she's going to walk over to the bow that she's carried for a while, which is her mother's bow. And she's actually going to put it on a stand that she brought with her. And she's going to pick up the animal staff instead, keeping in mind that Ark gave that to her In her mind, she knows he gave it to her as a payment of debt, but she actively ignores that.
No,
and
it's a
sees
gift.
it more
It's a
as
gift.
she
It's
got
clearly
a gift from her. And she is going to look at that that paper, and she's going to cast electric arc and start it on fire and go, I think it's time for me to forge my own path. And she's going to go find Hideaki.
That
Or is
night,
it too late
or
for that?
it's so. I think
Come on
you
over. No.
given the time, it is like pretty late. I
And
would
she'd
say
go
you
to
can,
bed.
yeah, and then absolutely.
Okay, yeah, she'd go to bed then because she'd assume he's sleeping if it's late. Or
Perfect.
need a minute after yesterday.
Yeah. It's been a lot. It's been a lot. All right. Cool. And so, Airfei goes to bed. Now, Hideaki, as you close your eyes to find sleep, you smell a scent that stirs you a little because it doesn't smell like your room. It smells outside and a bit humid. You smell forest and green space. You open your eyes and find yourself in a misty forest. The trees loom upwards, canopied leaves and branches looming inwards into you. It's densely packed around you, dark and quiet, with underbrush and brambles filling space between the trees. There's a damp, humid heat that presses in around you, and you feel already your clothes beginning to cling uncomfortably. As you look down, the mist swirls and rises nearly to your knees, making it very difficult to see the ground beneath you. It's then you notice as you look down at yourself that what isn't helping with this mist and visibility is that you can see through yourself. You are to some extent partially transparent. But you do feel ground beneath your feet and the air on your skin. What do you do?
Snap my fingers and try to cast Produce Flame.
So, character sheet wise, is that a cantrip from your summoner class or from your wizard archetype?
What a great question. It is from my summoner class.
You are unable to do so.
I think it's a dead lighter, like
Like, what's happening?
Gotta shake it a little bit.
okay. Just looks around. Is the sky visible at all, or is it all trees?
So you look up, try to glean what you can. The treetop canopy, kind of almost looming inwards, forms a barrier. And anytime you think that you can partially maybe see through the trees, it's almost like a cloud comes through and you are unable to see the sky above you. Additionally, given that and looking around you, you notice that it is dark, like nighttime, but seeing that you can't see the sky, it's just a clinging, dim light that fills you. So it's about, I would say it's very, very dimly lit.
Does he still feel the pain of today?
I would say so. You feel the
Um,
ground beneath you, so you would feel your own body
Sure.
to that same extent.
Sure. So I think he kind of clutches his chest for a minute. The headache from the psychic damage, the bruised, maybe broken ribs from the large beetle, all check marks. In his mind, it's like, cool, probably not dead. Okay.
And to
he'll
explain
start
like
to-
around. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say he's gonna slowly make his way forward.
Okay. Given that it is so difficult to see and to express how tightly packed the space is here with thicket, you go to take a step forward and your foot catches on like an unseen root that seems to cross in front of your path, and you realize, okay, maneuvering here is going to be interesting. You're gonna have to find yourself a path forward. And if you recall, Taliatia, at the time, you had a Nim that jumped for you and found a path for you. So, Hideaki, you can make me a survival or perception check to try to find yourself a way out.
All right. 16 perception.
16 perception. You're getting acclimated, trying to just figure out. Okay. So you carefully, start taking a small step forward, kind of searching the ground, and you can't see the mist being so thick and clinging to the forest floor. And you take a step. Okay, no, careful. Not there. Okay, this is really creepy music. There's not a child in the background.
No, but I love it though. It's so good.
I'm cool.
My
I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. Let's go.
No, keep it.
it's
No,
perfect.
keep it.
Keep it.
It's perfect.
Keep it.
It's such a juxtaposition from when Tao is here to when you're
Yeah.
here. It's scary now.
You think you found a clear area, and you go to step forward, and you follow up with another step. That is a critical failure
16 is a
that
critical
you
failure.
rolled. And
Okay.
you trip on your next foot forward, barely moving a foot.
Boom.
And you fall on your ass.
Oh, okay. That's
You are
better than my
prone.
face.
However, as you do, and you kind of like curse under your breath, you hear a rustling sound from the trees to your right.
I think he'll quickly
Distinct through the quiet. You turn instinctively towards the sound, and as you do, you see nothing. You see mist rolling into this space of trees, and begin to see faint images play on the surface of the mists, like a movie projecting onto uneven, swaying curtains. You watch the mist swirl and take shape, and you recognize Tal, standing in the doorway to the dorms. There is the party your fellow initiates threw for you after the tournament is winding down in the background, and you see them, Tal, looking anxiously at the camera before reaching a hand to pat something right above it. And it clicks for you then that you're seeing from Nim's perspective. The sound begins to filter into your ears from nowhere and everywhere. You watch Tal look inside, making eye contact with someone, and starting to step outside. Nim jumping down and following alongside from the ground. The perspective looks up as you see yourself suddenly come into view and pull a conflicted Tal into a hug. From this angle, the body language is clear. Tal does not hug you back. Pulling away, the conversation gets moved to around the corner for some more privacy. You watch yourself launch into an apology, an explanation, and you hear your own voice, and then watch as occasionally the mist distorts, like a track skipping. The results sounding as follows. I'm in a really interesting space emotionally right now. Then I lost you. I felt that I failed you. I lost when I lost you. I considered leaving the school entirely. I want to know about everything. It appears my heart is too big. I believe you, and even if it's not true, I want it to be. I've been wrong so much, and I'm okay with it for the first time in my life. And a wind you don't feel blows the mist and the image fades.
And as he kind of lays there in the brambles, I think he like he'll try to sit up if he can, and then attempt to stand and try to like just. All right, Dream. Cool. Thanks for that. What else do you have?
You stand there, looking around, waiting. Nothing seems to really happen, but you are welcome to make another check to try to move forward and find your way
out. 18.
18. This time, going even slower. You carefully place your footing, insisting to not, at the very least, fall. And you kind of are almost having to like hunch and crouch low and feel underneath the mist to make sure, okay, there's a branch or a root, and step over that, and you step in it, and it starts to kind of like, you're trying to get through some sort of like dense thicket at this point, and it's starting to kind of scratch at your fur, and it's so dense, and you're trying to find and you get to this point where you look around you, and it's just, you're stuck in thicket, and you have no direction to go, as that 18 is not enough. This time,
Nim?
another rustle from the bushes. This time from behind you. You turn and see a new image beginning to form. This time, it's unfamiliar. And you see yourself looking up to Tal as they sit on their bed in their dorm room.
I don't know. We got to the point eventually, but I don't know. I almost didn't get the chance to talk about it, and I was the one who reached out, you know. And I know he's sorry. I don't know.
Tal sighs and grows frustrated again.
Even if it's not true, was he just saying what he thought would make me happy? He keeps backpedaling on things that he says, like with Mariama and...
You watch as Tal groans and rubs their head before kind of just flopping backwards onto the bed.
My head hurts.
The mist swirls and the scene fades.
I'm trying. I'm really trying.
At this point, the lack of movement is getting frustrating, and the inability to make any progress is beginning to weigh and get in the way. You can go ahead and make another check. Try to make progress and find your way out.
23.
23. This time you walk towards the image. And you find your progress a little clearer. You're able to take some steps. You just keep stumbling, but comparatively, you're able to make some movement. You seem to be on some form of path, at least at the moment, though it's hard to find and keep. But you start walking. Progress is slow. Eventually, you expect it this time, as the rustling comes from directly in front of you. The images this time from a picnic so recently ago. You watch from Nim's perspective focused on Tal, and you watch it play out differently from your memories. Watching this closely focused on Tal, you see her shrink each time you raise your voice. You realize that a few times it looks like she goes to open her mouth to say something, only to shut it again when you continue to talk. You notice that when you finally turn to ask them a question, ask them why they waited this long, they look like they work up the courage to tell you they were scared. And your immediate response of, well, causes their ears to flatten. They look upset, ignored. You see the look shift to some frustration as you say, I could have helped, we could have helped, we would have helped, we want to help, we will help. I would have told you immediately. I would have chosen you every time, and I would have told you. That's why I'm upset. The scene shifts, this time not fading away, but reorienting into a new location. Tal is in their room in the Sprout House, grabbing a pillow from the floor and turning back towards Nim. You see them sniffle and wipe tears before crouching down and scratching under Nim's chin.
Well, I guess it's over now. I told them.
There's a beat of silence as Tal processes. Their face a complex mix of emotions as they hug the pillow into them.
No one asked me how I feel about it, Nim. Because if I make the choice now, I don't think I would choose him.
They take the pillow and bury their face into it. Muffled through it, you hear,
And I can't tell him that now.
the wind blows. The scene fades. Go ahead and make another check for me. Do it with advantage.
I don't blame you, Tal. Wow. Both of them are terrible. Fuck it. I'm using a hero point. Natural 1, natural 5, natural 1.
You swear you were on the right path. You swear that you were finally making progress. And you hit a thick, just underbrush in front of you. And you feel the thorns begin to cut into your fur and your pants. And you turn around and be like, okay, well, you were just on the path. So you turn around and go back the other way. And then all of a sudden, bam, you're in another dense thicket. And you're like, how did I get here? And you seem stuck. Like any step you make is just not making any more progress.
What are you trying to tell me? Look, I know I suck already. I'm already busy thinking about that. I didn't need to come here to learn that.
You feel the air shift behind you. Do you turn to look?
Of course.
It's already dimly lit here. So it takes your eyes a second to realize that it's so dark as you turn around that it's hard to see, and then you realize it's not just darkness. It's a figure. And you look up and up as you see a ginormous, looming individual emerge from the trees. A bit distance away, but the size of this being is massive. Threads are complicated. They twist, they turn. They're unpredictable. But we see. Do you see?
Clearly not well enough.
The figure, you think they're about to like fade, but instead the movement has an arm reach out and almost presenterily to your left, to their left, and you turn to look. The mist swirls. A battered, partially bug-trampled towel curls up in their hammock, shifting a little, and you can tell they're dozing and halfway to sleep. You watch their face contort in a momentary confusion before their eyes snap open, their entire body convulsing in pain as they cry out. And you recognize the pain as the same pain you went through when Overnosa left. And it hits you. What you're seeing is that, well, a couple of hours ago, maybe time is complicated. You don't know how long you've been in this forest. Strings are connected. And you hurt her. We can't have that. So we'll make you a deal.
Who are you, first of all? Look, I mean, I'm trying to appreciate this as a life lesson. So, but you've come at a really fascinating time. So it's just one of those, like, you're not going to tell me who you are and we just continue forward? Is that one of those things?
We are Tal's patron. We have an investment in her well-being. And you really can't hurt her anymore.
Can you teach me more about this connection? This thread?
No. But we will make you a deal. Do you agree?
I don't know what the deal is, so I don't think so. I'm known for rash actions, but we just met, and I've got a really bad headache, so you kind of need to give me some more information here. No offense, Tal's patron.
There's a moment of silence. While your strings are connected, don't hurt Tal. It's simple. And if you interfere, then we will sever your ties to her. You matter not to us, boy.
That wasn't a deal, that was a threat. And to be honest, I appreciate that. Look, I know I'm completely out of my element here, and I appreciate you taking the time to bring me here, I suppose. But I don't think, aside from, I don't understand what this deal is supposed to be. What are you offering?
You seem to want to know things. I can tell you if you want to know.
In
Ask
exchange
us a
for...
question, and we will answer it. And in exchange, whilst your strings are connected, don't hurt Taliatia.
What do you think I want to know?
Again, you matter not to us, boy. Ask a question and we'll answer. If you agree. Is it a deal?
Can you tell me who's behind the attacks on the school?
You see the figure, and every time that voice sort of shifts, there's a slight sort of like difference in posture, but with this looming creature, it's almost hard to truly see, but there's a sort of like a almost like just like a shifting of shoulders is the most you can really gather. And in this silence, you watch the shifting happen a couple times. Yes.
Then I accept.
you watch the mist start to swirl around you, revealing the ground beneath your feet. As you do, there is quick images that begin to form in the mists that swirl around you, and they begin to rise. You see a face emerging from a wall, a hand and a foot. And an image kind of disappears. You see an image in the past, it seems like, as a small Kurshkin that you're familiar with. Seems to be kind of like barking orders at some other gremlins. Don't ask questions. Stone Ghost will get angry. And then lastly, as it begins to swirl up over your head, there is a brief moment where you see caverns and a voice crying out in pain and dimly lit, like a flickering torchlight or something, illuminating just partial body with a bright purple coat. And you wake up. Hideaki.
Hi, yeah.
Mechanically, you are now under the effects of Gias.
Cool. Worth it.
What does that do?
So, Hideaki, as you wake up, I will say, your head is fuzzy and not, feeling great. You're still feeling that headache. You didn't really get much rest. And again, thinking back to this dream, it is how long were you there? Because you remember trying to walk through that maze of a forest and trying and trying and trying. It felt like hours. It felt like a day. You have some wounds that still need tending. You are going to be fatigued. And you do not get the
give a
benefits
shit
of a long
less.
rest.
He could give a fuck.
Interesting question you chose. I was ready for you to ask about, the village and what their thing is, or Overnosa's. So many things.
The silver medal was Overnosa connection. to the village and getting him out of there, but
Uh-huh. I was not sure how to prepare from like a GM. I was like, any question.
a lot of places he could have gone.
I will say though, in case it just wasn't clear, I want to just clarify because I was kind of thinking of it up on the spot. The visions you saw, to an extent, seem to be present, past, and future.
Oh no, yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
that's. Wait, what's the future?
It was
Interesting.
in the order of present, past, and future. So, you saw the face
Yeah.
emerging from the
Yep.
wall.
Yep.
You saw
Oh,
past, you saw
the stone ghost
Krishkian.
situation. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought
Yeah.
I was like the Hideaki. I'm like, what? Well, that was all past.
No,
What are you
I'm
talking-
so sorry. Yeah, no,
Okay.
no. The
Got it.
three kind of like answers to your question were past, present, and future, or past, future.
I'm sure we want to move to somebody else, but I just want to say that like he'll try to shoot up out of bed with excitement, and then like the grape, like the chick that fell over, like some of the grapes, it's really bad.
Okay.
It doubles over in pain, and takes a moment to recover, and forgetting that he is a mortal being with wants and needs.
Yeah. And as you look yourself over, you took no physical damage throughout the climbing through like underbrush and trees and all of these. You took no physical damage. And as you look down, because you know your pants were torn, you're you know like at that point, and you look down, and you're fine.
Magic some bitch.
Now let's jump on over to the Sprout House. How you doing, Tal?
I have a question as a viewer, as a partaker. What time does Hideaki wake up? Is it still the evening time, or is it the next day?
It is the
Morning
next
time?
day.
Okay, cool. Excellent.
It is a full night's
Perfect.
rest.
Wonderful. Great. So,
You had something from the night before?
yes, just to kind of clarify what happened from Tal's perspective. After Tal got blasted, they feel terrible. They have no idea what's going on. They just know that they're in a lot of pain, and they know one person who can help them. So they're gonna try as best they can, in as hurt of a state that they are at, to go and wake up Arabe.
Okay.
I don't.
What's up?
I like don't want to be this person, but I'm gonna. Did they actually take any damage? 'Cause they only had 3 hit points left, right?
That was after the damage.
Oh, that was after.
That
the
was
damage?
after the damage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was after damage. Yeah, no, I was
Understood.
left with 3 hit points. Yeah,
Gotcha,
yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah. Thank you for that, though.
Let's kill
okay.
Tal again today.
Yay!
So, kind of climbing out, you go ahead, and as a reminder, just mechanically, so that we're all kind of on the same page, you have ways in which that you can treat wounds yourself. You know, everybody is as adventurers and as kind of, you know, people that you are, you do like there's an action out of combat that is called treat wounds with a certain check,
but they don't know what this is from, is the thing.
Sure.
It's not something that is like appeared on their body. And
I wanted to just remind people, but absolutely.
Yes.
And so you go kind of stumbling out of the Sprout House like middle of the night. It's probably about like 2-3 in the morning.
It's 100%. And like the scene of them getting out of their hammock and down the ladder this is the worst time to have a ladder situation.
Right?
Bad.
You fall and take 3 damage.
I know.
Hey! It wasn't Hideaki's
imagine.
fault anyway.
And you go to find Airfay without Nim. Nim is not with you.
Correct.
Right?
Which is an interesting thing that I don't think that they like. They don't register it actually. I don't think in this moment.
Nim,
They're just so
Nim did say
focused
like
on,
be right back. So like
yeah,
you did,
and
yeah.
they like they were in pain and they were not. They probably didn't even
Perfect.
hear it. Yeah.
And you knock on Airface's door.
Yeah. They're probably like leaning on like the door frame, and you just it's not a loud knock, unfortunately. But yeah, you would just hear like two like knocks
Mhm.
and like a very weak like everything.
So I just kind of imagine this probably happens about when I'm finishing up with my stuff and I've burnt this letter now.
Well,
and
it's the next
she'll go-
morning, right?
Is it the
No,
next morning?
this is
3
it. Yeah,
Oh,
this
this
is
is
like
night?
3 a.m.
This is in
This
the
is
night.
Okay.
right after
My bad.
right
My bad.
We're
Brain
being a little
blast.
timey-wimey, which is not my
Timey-wimey's
favorite
good.
thing.
Yeah. This
but
is happening while you're
Very
having
010.
your situation.
It's
I'm
all
having
bad.
I'm having a
You're
moment.
having
The
your
moment.
moment, and now we get to have our.
Please, 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 please.
Yeah, so she'll hear that and she'll I rolled a perception check to see if I would hear it. So I'm assuming with the 22 I would, and I will go open the
you're
door
Perfect.
and be like, Tal, are you all right?
Tal does not look all right.
You, come.
Yeah,
And
narrator.
she does like the babushka. No, come.
As she's like walking in, they're like kind of saying, "Everybody, I don't know what happened. Everything hurts, and I don't know why."
Okay, well just lay down for a minute. Just relax. We'll figure it out. Don't worry. Let's see. It would still be from yesterday. Yeah, okay. I moved my all stuff over to a new character sheet, so I'm trying to like, how many spells do I have left? I do have a level 1 spell left and a level 2 left. So, I think what she would do first is just automatically go into like triage mode. And see if she can figure out what's wrong with Tal. So I'm assuming it would be like a medicine check.
Yep.
Okay. And I have battle medicine, so I don't know if that makes a difference, but
Not particularly. That is to treat wounds as an action. So.
perfect. That will be a 26 for medicine.
All
Hooray.
right. So you looking Tal over, you see that this, battle wornness from the day that you had. You see probably some bruises that are forming under the fur. You see scratches here and there. But based on their sort of like their ragged breathing and the way that they're like clutching their head and hurting and all of these types of things, like it seems that they're far more winded than they were when you left them or when they left. So there's like, but you're not able to see anything on their body that is like particularly doing that. But I would say Arafe is familiar with the fact that there is psychic damage and all kinds of damage that are not necessarily physical.
Yeah.
Which
and I'll
would
let you
help
decide,
because Tal is trying to explain in a very scattered way that they were just sitting in the sprout house and then they felt. I'll say it in character. Why
Yeah,
not?
why not?
Yeah, why not?
Action.
Why not? I was just sitting in the sprout house and I felt something strange and I tried to see what it was and then there was this searing pain that was in my head and I don't know where it came from and I don't know what happened. It hurt really bad.
So this wasn't from the fight earlier. This is
No.
from after that.
I mean, I mean, I didn't feel too good about that either. But this was just not too terribly long ago.
All right. Well, first things first. Let's make sure that you're taken care of. And she's going to just go and cast heal.
Okay. And I was gonna say, like, if you wanted to actually treat wounds as opposed to just kind of looking them over, I'd let you carry over that roll if you wanted to. So between that, or
okay.
just you magically using heal, whatever you want.
Honestly, I think
you're able
she'd
to-
do both because Tal seems very freaked out and seems. I mean, I can tell that she's not doing well.
Yeah, yeah. So I would say first blasting them with, magical healing to help start alleviating some of those, and kind of following it up with, some ointments and bandages and, whatever other small sort of like minute taking care of physically. You can do that, kind of following that up. So go ahead and roll your spell.
So heal is that is going to be 6 HP back. It's not a ton.
Perfect. And you are remind me, trained or expert in healing? Medicine.
In medicine, I have an expertise.
In healing.
I have expertise in medicine.
And what did you roll again at the time?
At that time, it was a 20. Nope. That was a 23?
I think I heard 23 earlier, yeah.
23.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So go ahead and roll 4d8.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Woohoo!
Unless you were, I will, just to remind people of how treat wounds mechanic works, just to kind of take this opportunity to, treat wounds at its core is going to be a DC 15. You can decide, because only you're expert in medicine, so because you're expert in medicine, you can decide to increase the DC to do more healing. So you can say, I'm going to make it a little bit harder for myself, but instead of it being 2d8, it becomes 2d8 plus 10. So the DC goes from 15 to 20, but then you do way more healing.
Okay, and you said do 4d8, correct?
So if you did it as a regular, I wanted to give you just, I know we're being wobbly, but this is how the mechanics work. Did you want to do it regular, or did you want to do it, did you want to heighten your DC?
It sounds so bad because I already know what it is, but I'll heighten DC.
Sure.
Let's go!
So a critical success doubles the dice, but in this case, because you raise the DC, instead of going from a critical success, it becomes just a success.
That's fair.
So it becomes 2d8 plus 10.
2d8 plus 10. Okay, so I'll just take the first two I rolled, which was 12, so 22.
Perfect.
That gets me back to full.
Hell yeah.
And also for future, usually you'll just 2 action heal anytime you can, like if you have the action economy. So like you'd get that +8 or +16 or whatever you get no matter what.
That's true.
Yep.
Okay.
So this is we'll treat wounds on its own and everything. We're gonna say, there's a little bit of time that you're getting, just taken care of, Tal.
I chose a complicated healer class. Why not? But so as she's doing that, you do also kind of see she's doing the magical healing, but she's also kind of grabbing your face and looking into your eyes and trying to make sure you're checking for concussions, that kind of fun stuff. Mm-hmm. You were just sitting in your room and it just hurt all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
Are you all right? Let me say that differently. How do you feel?
I mean, they look down at their hands and whatever kind of bandages or whatever you put on there. I feel okay now, but I'm afraid I'm scared. What if it happens again? And what if it happens and you're not there, or and what else isn't there?
I don't know, but there is one thing I can do. I can just not be there.
You can't promise that.
I can do my damnedest. I know that doesn't help a lot, and perhaps we can find some other things to have with you just in case. But this is something scary. I don't want to try and tell you shouldn't be scared if something like this happens, but whatever you need me to do, I'll do it. It's important to me that you're safe.
I'm just sitting and nodding. Okay.
Do I notice that Nim's not here?
I'm gonna leave that up to y'all. Yeah, I mean Nim's pretty.
I mean, Nim's always
Yeah.
with Tao. Like, I don't think you've seen Tao without Nim somewhere.
Okay.
I will also say, because you're like talking about this, and you could tell me, you can say it's late, between like the two of y'all, and so proper thinking will happen in the morning, or you can kind of try to spend some time like up now with a sort of recall knowledge check to try to figure out like what's going on. But you could also just say like, okay, well, let's figure it out in the morning. Up to you.
Mm-hmm.
Tao's not trying to like deduce what's going on. Tao's just relieved they're not in pain, and there was
That's
somebody
fair.
that they know.
That's fair. You know, why don't you stay here tonight? Just so
Like that.
that I'm nearby. Where's Nim? Where's Nim?
Tao like looks around like confusedly, and then looks around a little bit more like frantically, not like panicked, but like really confused. Nim?
There will be like a moment, and then no, not yet. Nim's not there.
Well, Nim is very capable. We'll look for them in the morning.
You can tell that there Tal is becoming less okay again. They're like kind of like grabbing at like the bed covers a little bit. They've never not been here. So,
Arafe is going to sit down next to Tal and pull her into a hug.
Tal will like be like a little stiff for a second, and then just like grab onto you so tightly.
We'll find Nim in the morning. They're fine. I guarantee they're fine. And then once you get a little bit of rest, we'll find Nim in the morning. But it's more important that we take care of you right now.
What if they're not okay? What if something happened?
So we know that Nim is now like your little patron connection, correct? Like we know that now?
We as players, yes.
Does Arafe know this?
I haven't talked to anyone except Miriyama about it.
That's fair.
Well,
I couldn't remember if we
no!
talked about
Oh,
it in character or not.
Well, there is the fact that like when you were in the treehouse, when you were first clearing it out, we talked about like Nim being a spell conduit, like being like able to eat spells and things like that, like eat scrolls.
We did, but they never did because we didn't have a scroll that was usable by Nim.
You never actually did it. Okay.
Yeah.
I would say that Nim has it's a magical familiar, but not necessarily that it's like it's not an actual like animal. It's definitely magical.
Yeah, it definitely yeah. They're definitely not like, a pet you can pick up at your local market or whatever.
Everybody's got a Nim.
the pet
Everyone's
market.
got a Nim. Yeah.
It's a Nimbus 2000.
Oh God. Not you too.
My bad.
They'll be back. I guarantee it. I don't think Nim would have left your side unless they know they could come back.
I think Tal's like a little bit muffled in the hug, but you can hear them kind of a little bit quieter say, "You shouldn't guarantee things so much."
That's fair. I think I get so caught up in just trying to make you feel better that I forget that sometimes that's not the right thing to say.
I'd rather you be honest than try to make me feel better. And they'll give
I'll
you
do-
like a little tighter hug.
Yep. I will do better on that. I get a little caught up in supposed to have the right answers. But we'll look for them in the morning, and that can be the first thing we do. But if you don't feel better, we can't go looking in the first place.
It is very late, and you had a very long day.
Yeah,
And
it's
now
not
with the
long.
Healing,
like,
it's starting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
it's starting
Tal
to
like
kind of
gets
all...
like sinks into like your lap and is like out in like a minute.
So I am going to make a character decision, and it's
Let's
not
go.
a beneficial one for me. Arafe
Yes!
is not going to sleep.
Damn!
Okay.
Welcome to the party.
Oh shit! Oh.
All right.
Oh, that's a really
Um,
bad idea, though.
That's a really bad idea, but would you do it anyway?
I will say this. Tell me why, because I would say if you're standing there kind of like
Tell
just
me
keeping
why.
guard on Tal, overtime sleep is you're just really tired from a long day.
Yeah.
And you will
Like
sort of
that's
just fall
coffee.
asleep.
I feel like
Um,
she would try her hardest to stay awake, but not be able to do so. It's been a long and stressful day.
Totally.
Yeah. I would
Uh,
say you're kind of on edge. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
Do you have one more thing?
No, I was gonna see if maybe Yafira could come back, but I've already burned that bridge. Her energy is gone.
She's trying so hard.
I feel like
so
what
you-
she would probably do is be trying to stay awake, but feel that she's falling asleep. So she's going to fall asleep with her hand on like Tal's heart, so that she can feel if Tal like judders or shifts or something.
Dies in their sleep.
Okay, there is complex
Trauma.
You don't know. I have discussed this with Syrup in detail, but there is trauma for her according to that. So
Yeah.
Get in line.
So
But I don't think she'd be
doze
able to.
and sort of your head lulls and you finally although you're fighting it, also fall asleep after a long and exhaustful day and series of events, to say the least. Because of how on edge and alert you are, Airfay, you kind of wake up half asleep pretty early on. I mean, you guys went to bed pretty late, so probably maybe like 6 a.m. or 6 around that time, and to tell kind of like shifting.
Mhm.
And you just barely open your eyes to see Nim curling on the bed next to Tal, and Tal almost in their sleep just kind of pulling Nim in, and you close your eyes for some more rest.
Before she
which
goes to
is
sleep,
where-
she is going to go, "You never do that to Tal again." And then she will go to sleep.
You sort of whisper that out of the air, and
Yep.
Nim looks at you, kind of blinks,
Listen here, you little shit.
and like just
Yes, call them
curls
out.
in.
Just
And
you
then-
wait.
That is where we will take our break.
Oh
Amazing.
god!
Boom.
Jeez.
Has it's already been that long? We need to arcs too.
Right?
I'm alive, you guys.
Arc's DJing, it's fine.
I knew you were gonna live.
I did
Listen,
it,
Arc-
Maria.
Arc-
Arc
Dancing
went,
lights.
I know you didn't. I had to make you stress. It's my birthday gift to me.
All right, friends. Please stick around. We have some
I
more
love
fun
you.
stuff coming for you. This was great. Kudos to everybody. We will
boy.
catch you in just a little bit. Stretch, hydrate, take care of yourselves. We'll see you. Be right back. Welcome. Hello. Welcome on in.
Hello.
So everybody have a good restful break. Everyone has a good restful
No,
break.
I've been like ready to rock the whole time. No breaks.
And now the rest of the show is just one group nap. We all just rest.
We're just gonna go sing Kumbaya.
Is that
Oh,
what
boy.
we need or what our characters need?
I
Well,
mean,
yes.
yeah.
yes.
No Los Dos.
Okay, no Los Dos, indeed. Hallelujah.
We pick up in the morning where Airfay, still perhaps a little on edge and not having the most rest, but at the same time, I'll say like enough of a rest that you don't have to take any fatigue or anything like that.
Fools.
You hear like a soft like almost rustling or something outside your door, and you see kind of like a shadow pass across like the like the crack at the bottom of the door, the light coming in, just kind of a little bit shifting in movement, and it sounds like there's something like was placed down or something. There's some kind of like movement, and as you wake up and notice that, you see Tal is absolutely dead asleep. Not dead.
Not dead.
Sorry. Not dead. Sorry.
They look
Just
like they're
regular,
asleep,
very asleep.
but they're not.
Oh,
breathing.
hey,
Look like they're
trauma!
Really, really deeply asleep. You know, like a corpse, but not a corpse. Sorry.
But exactly like a corpse.
They're exactly
Like a corpse, but not a corpse, but exactly like a corpse.
Oh, like a corpse, but not a corpse. The AC's too high. Too low?
AC's too high.
I mean, you do have, I think, what is it, an animate dead scroll under your bed? You'll be fine.
I do. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. We'd have Tal. It'd be fine.
We'd
It would
have
just be a
Tal.
different
We
in
way.
would
what
have Tal.
form?
Look, guys,
Boy.
Tal's still alive.
Also, Hideaki's dead.
Oh no.
Shit. Okay, we gotta choose. I can't do both. We get one or
I
the
mean,
other.
it's fine. I respect it.
So you hear this movement outside your door.
She will get up and head over to the door. She'll keep and like make sure that she's not waking up Tal, because she wants them to have as much sleep as possible. And she will go crack the door open slowly.
Okay, sorry, cracking me up in chat. So you you crack the door open, and you look down, and you see it's almost like a platter of like breakfast pastries. There's some like croissants and like some bread rolls, some more like savory element things that you've kind of used to seeing that get offered on occasion at the dining hall, with a little note on it. And go ahead.
Yeah, I'll pick it up and like try and look around and see if I can see anybody.
Yeah, and so you see, you don't see a person kind of down the hall, like turning the corner, but you do see what looks to be the like last foot and tail of a fuzzy crocodile-like thing.
No.
Perhaps a certain friend to Naxola.
You want to call it a Snapple, and it's not.
Every time, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just not gonna say what it is because I don't want to get it wrong. So you know, friend to Naxolo instead of anything else. But yes,
It's Crocodile Boy.
crocodile, fuzzy alligator crocodile thing. Snapple. Her Snapple, their Snapple. And so you catch that, and it's pretty distinctive. You are familiar, and you glancing at the note, and this is a plate that's like piled with it, like definitely more than one person. And you have it. The note reads, "You had a long day. Hopefully this one's better."
She will definitely smile at that and bring it inside. And set that down.
You had mentioned earlier if you wanted to check in on Hideaki. Did you want to do so now?
Yeah, I think she would. She is going to write a quick note to Tal so that, when Tal wakes up and Arafe is not there, it's not like she abandoned me.
Yeah.
First Nim, now Arafe.
I'm just used to being ignored and abandoned. Don't worry about it.
So she is just going to just grab a piece of paper and write, "Want to talk to Hideaki, be right back." And then she'll put it like where she was sleeping, because that's probably where Tal is going to look first.
Right here. You smack it on Nim.
Because the next thing she's going to do is look at Nim and say, "If they wake up, if there's anything wrong, you come get me. Do you understand?"
Nim kind of their eyes open and they look at you and they just kind of curl back in a nestle in. They don't really
Such a
you.
dick.
And she's going to go, "I really think you're smarter than you pretend to be. Come find me if they need me, okay?"
One of the three tails just kind of like twitch. Or two tails, sorry, I forget every time.
I also forget, so it's okay.
2, 3,
Who
5.
knows?
One
They're
of the
magical
9
creature.
tails.
Maybe some.
Hey.
Maybe they have 3 some days and 2 others. Who
Yeah,
knows?
who knows? If they spin it really
Hideaki
fast.
murder.
Oh my god.
Okay, now critical question, do you take the plate of pastries or not?
She's going to grab some stuff off of it, but definitely going to leave some there for Tal. But I mean, definitely one doesn't want to run into Noxola without having some of the breakfast that they gave them, because that's a bitch move. But also she would like to bring some to Hideaki when she's going to go check up on him. So,
All right. So, Hideaki, you wake up with start, as you said. And it's odd because like you were obviously exhausted and in pain when you were going to bed, but like you it's one of those things where you don't remember falling asleep, but you remember opening your eyes in the forest, and then you're opening eyes again, and it's all like it's kind of one of those like really shifty weird things. Time is wonky, your head is funky, everything is just going a little sideways right now. You wake up with a start.
Yeah, just Duval without coffee. Perfect. In pain
Light
and
pouring in. It is morning. It is morning. Light is pouring through the window.
okay, and like I need to. He finally, like, even though still in pain, finally collects himself. I don't know if there was a knock on the door yet or anything like that. I don't know if I got up earlier than the knock or not, but I think it's fair to say that it's earlier than the knock. Yeah. And noting a particular absence. We can talk when you're ready.
Do you you kind of like reach out and find that absence, like to try to sense what's there?
Yeah.
Okay. So you go to do that as there's a knock on your door.
Oh,
Hideaki.
yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. I'm awake. I'm coming. Goes to open
As
the door.
you go, it's a sort of okay. So timey-wimey, things are interesting. You go to kind of like search, get interrupted by the dock. Jolting over there, you open the door. Just as you feel suddenly like a presence kind of coming from like the base of your neck, as you're used to with your connection to Overnosa, suddenly come kind of like rushing forward.
Roller coaster, yeah.
And it's this very weird feeling because almost like as you open the door, you're like like it's like. At
Please
the
don't
same,
throw
it's
up on
really.
my shoes.
I will ask. Are you holding back from manifesting
No.
the presence? Okay. So Airfay, like the door opens, and then almost like as they open, you see a very like odd look wash over Hideaki as you see them looking haggard and exhausted as all of a sudden Overnosa manifests behind them as Hideaki's eyes alight with the symbol that you're familiar with seeing over their eyes when that happens. And as Overnosa materializes, they look at you, Hideaki, and with a lot of like this sort of like intensity, they're like, "Where were you?"
And
Is that
I
out
hear
loud?
this.
Yes.
That was the question.
Yeah.
And I think like he kind of like looks behind and looks at Airfay and looks behind at Overnosa and looks at Airfay. There's a lot to talk about. Like a lot. So I was about to gather everyone. But hey.
Hi.
Oh, pastries! Amazing!
Yeah.
Make a perception check for me, Airfay.
Oh, it's a bad roll. I'm gonna
Ooh,
hero
that's a
point 'cause I
bad
have
roll.
3.
Yeah! Let's
You can point
go!
that shit. That's good.
Hero point that
That's
shit,
much
yo!
better. Went from a 6 to a 16, so that is a 22.
Yeah!
22. Hideaki,
Mm-hmm.
what's under the surface? Talk to me about what that kind of insight might be of like someone who's perceiving you.
There is... He's not hiding his exhaustion by any means, but behind his eyes is a level of excitement that is pretty typical for him. While also wearing just the last couple of days like are visible on his person. He's exhausted, but he's smiling and really, happy to see you.
Overnosa, in your perception, is worried, is concerned. There's a lot of intensity coming from Overnosa.
Fair enough. So just because I'm not knowledgeable of this, what does Gias do to him mechanically?
Okay, so Gias is interesting. It is not necessarily a spell in Pathfinder. It is a ritual, and it is a enforcement of a magical rule, and it's a sort of enforcement of either performing or refraining from carrying out a certain act. I will say that's all, like, that is what Gias is as a, like, out of character thing. I don't think Airfay has any clue at all.
Okay, because I was just curious if it gave any sort of conditions or not.
He's not affected by that in this current moment. Yeah,
So that's fine. Just wanted to see. Okay. You look like we should sit down.
That is probably smart. Because if I'm being honest, I was about to go gather everyone, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to make it or not.
Well,
Because, I'll get really excited.
Yeah. Why don't we sit down for just a minute? Let you eat a little bit before we go? Tal is
Correct.
in my room, so they're not far off. I don't know where Ark is.
Oh.
But
Oh.
one of two
Okay.
places, I assume.
You also recognize a certain, like, more pain than they were in when you last saw them. That
Same.
is a little bit familiar
That's also
to
true.
you.
That's also true.
I'm gonna see if I'd connect those dots. I would. These dice are awesome. Homie and the dude dice, y'all. First things first. Sit. I'm going to, like, practically, like, kind of, like, almost anime style shove a pastry into your mouth. Eat. How are you doing?
This is good. Where did you get this from?
Nox Solo actually grabbed us breakfast from
Oh,
the cafeteria.
Axella's cool.
They're very observant. I think they recognized how tough yesterday was a little bit. I actually talked with them a little bit as well. They're quite an interesting character that I'm a little disappointed I haven't talked to too much yet. But
They're on my to-do list too, so I get it. Along with
But
so many other things.
how are you? Yesterday
I've-
was a bit difficult, it seemed like.
I've been better. Certainly. Thank you for asking. I really wasn't ready to see my parents. I really did not need that. I could have just. How did we not just get a 24-hour like heads up? Like the teacher just wouldn't like we were on the same page. Anyway, it's fine.
It seems like one of those things that we probably should have thought about it, but at the same time,
Yeah,
a heads up would have been nice.
definitely.
But it seemed, you seemed pretty emotional yesterday.
Yeah. Me and my father are very far apart. And I made it worse. I made it a lot worse, I think.
You think you can make it better?
I don't know.
Do you want to make it better?
Yeah, here's a problem. I think I experienced my first regret yesterday.
First.
Yeah. See, there's been some issues even when I left, even including me leaving. And there's concerns back home about what Overnose and I are doing here and if we're protecting the village, and if I'm really being honest, I think I resented him, and I didn't really know that until yesterday. And then I really wanted to hurt him. And then I knew I did, and then I kept pushing. And then it felt really good. And then I was hoping to be able to bring it back around and get everyone on the same page. There's issues between Overnosa and the village, and he said something that really upset me, and I just kept pushing.
Sounds like you have a lot that you're trying to balance.
Yeah. Teaching, being a student, dealing with family issues, dealing with the dragon issue. He kind of looks over at Overnosa.
Who is like impatiently this entire time in your head being like, where were you?
Also, I think I've been where Tal's been now. I know. It's dangerous, cool, awful, and amazing at the same time. Did you get hurt when you were there? No. That's not true. My pride was hurt a little bit. Forests are not easy to walk through in the dark, especially magical patron related forests.
This conversation I didn't start. Arafe, were you healing Hideaki in like or treating wounds or anything like that while like throughout this morning?
I mean, I should be, yeah.
Could have been, but I'm not.
She would wait until Hideaki was done eating his food, and then she would start because she feels very guilty about yesterday.
As she goes to do that, She holds up a hand. Don't.
Why?
I want to wear this for a while.
Okay.
I don't want to. It doesn't really. It's not a logical expression of. I just wanted to. Typically, I'm all adrenaline, and I think I just want to feel it for a while. You know.
What are your hit points at, Hideaki?
13 out of 44. 12 out of 44.
We'll be keeping an eye on you. All right. Well, if you get tired of sitting on it, you know. But
I will interrupt this moment of conversation as y'all we'll come back.
Yeah.
Because it's been a little bit now.
It's been.
So Tal, you'd probably be waking up with Nim in your arms, and Ark, you had a whole night's rest. You're feeling better.
You're feeling great.
Doing great. Everything's fine.
Ark feels good.
But I do want to check in with you, Ark, because it's been a eventful time with a lot of us here. So, first of all, anything from last night up until now, this morning, that Ark needs to take care of or made aware?
I don't think so. It was very, like, Ark alone is different than Ark with other people. So it was very, like, he went to his room, he placed this shirt down in its exact place, he placed this down in an exact place, didn't undo the covers, and just laid on top of them all and went to sleep.
And when we last kind of checked in with Ark, there was a certain feeling or discomfort when Iska was not seen after the ceremony. How is that like doing?
Yeah, it's still racking their brain for sure. It's like in the back of the head, but like he's also like relatively logical about it and knows that he's not gonna figure it out like on his own. Like it's just one of the, like
does Ark look at it as a feeling, or is it just kind of like, oh, my chest is uncomfortable?
It's like I'm uncomfortable, but I'm not hurt. I don't know what this is, and if I knew what it was, I would take care of it anyway. So I can't figure it out.
Okay. So morning comes, and I would say, rather habitually, you all tend to meet up for breakfast.
I think so.
Do you just kind of head out to the dining hall, or what's going on?
So I think Art goes to the training.
Fight club?
5 a.m.
The fight club training.
Fight club.
Probably sees that Tal's not there, and probably a lot of people not there. He might be the only one out there after that fight yesterday, but he's out there.
Let's see, would Essie be there?
Ooh.
Essie would probably
be with their mom.
No, their mom left to go to Natambo. You watched that was one of the first things that happened. And so Essie is honestly probably meets you out there. She shares with you that like Okoro was tired and like wanted to get some extra sleep after yesterday. But she was like, I actually wasn't really anticipating anybody to show up today. I just wanted to stretch and get moving. Are you all right after yesterday?
I think I am okay. I'm going to keep to the routine.
That's good. It's important to keep the muscle memory. You did really well yesterday.
He has like this small, like in between a nod and a bow. You did too. Everyone did, I think.
Got distracted by chat, sorry. My bad. Yeah, no, I think it was a lot comparatively, but Teacher Ott's been investigating. I checked. I don't think he's gotten much sleep, but he's been sort of coordinating the efforts here. I know my mom, and then she kind of like interrupts herself, but she almost said like my mom, and she goes, Teacher Tankut is off to oversee coordinations with the city to make sure that they weren't affected. I think they're still organizing things. Some of the upperclassmen are doing some preliminary things, and I think that they'll need us as assistants at some point, but I think today might still be a rest day, so I'm just going to make sure I'm ready anyways.
And he gives that same half nod, half bow, and like you can tell as the conversation went on longer and longer, he like withdrew more, and from an internal place, it's just not the same as it usually is. Like it's just Essie, and he's just talking to Essie, and it's all different. So, yeah. And that plus like the feeling in his chest, he's just like, yeah. And then he like turns around and starts like stretching, like his back to her.
Do you stay for a full training session, or do you sort of kind of like?
It's probably shorter than normal because other people aren't there, but it's a full training session for his body.
Okay. And would you spar with Essie?
No.
Okay. All right. And so.
And then I think, if you don't mind, he'll go to the cafeteria or the food hall, and he'll go sit at their normal table, and he'll just sit there for like
we're coming
5 minutes.
God damn it!
And he'll eventually start.
I hate you.
Tapping his finger, like, and it gets more aggressive and more aggressive, and then he gets up and goes to look for them.
Okay.
Oh, Mark's internal dialogue is, where are these fuckers?
Bulbasaur can't hurt. Bulbasaur or Art can't hurt us. Bulbasaur.
I mean, he can.
We have for our podcast listeners, I am looking at one Duval hugging a Bulbasaur stuffy, and then one Maria hugging a cat. Armstrong, great, fantastic.
Living cat.
Just grab my sound suppression pillow.
Amazing.
Sounds and emotions.
And I think just to play the scene out, how it would be written or something, he goes to like RFA's room. No one's there.
Perfect.
No, actually, no.
Cal
When
is
you
at
get
my
to
door.
RFA's room, I'm there.
Yeah.
To add confusion to the
Okay.
mix.
Yeah. I'm in RFA's
For
room.
some
so,
reason, I
like,
thought they were
no.
all
Yeah.
in Hideaki's room.
Nah, Tal.
I was just
Airfay
sleeping.
let Tal sleep in.
Yeah.
So.
But that would be fantastic if you
The
wanted to do
third
that.
contender
for
enters
sure.
the chat. No.
Now, if you recall, I'm gonna just for ease. I mean, it's not a big deal, but I do recall
Bring
with
us
within
to
the Spire dormitory, y'all's rooms are not like particularly far away from each other or anything like that.
No.
So you pass your room over to Arafay's, and you kind of go down the hallway, which means that you kind of turn down to Arafay's room before getting to Hideaki's room, which is just perfect. And you go to like into Arafay's room. Do you knock on the door?
Yeah, he would knock just like three solid times. Very arc knock.
Very
and
arcanoc.
Tal, you're there. And you could have like had woken up a little bit before that if you need to, like,
Yeah. I think it was like just like as they were, they're out of that like kind of like just woke up, zombie brain kind of thing. But they're probably like rubbing their eyes and they hear the knock and they just kind of like, huh. And they would go over, like, kind of sleepily and open the door.
Forget you're in
And
my room.
just to give you that quick moment that you do wake up with Nim in your arms.
Oh.
As my
Yeah.
camera is not.
It can't
said
handle your
no.
power, Syrup.
It said no.
Too pretty.
Yeah, when they wake up, they like see that Nim is there. And like there's like a little like skipping in there. My cat's meowing. What, bud? There's like a little flutter in their chest as they're like so excited to see them. And then he's outside. He's literally outside my door. He's staring at the bathroom. He's going, "Meow!"
So cute.
But they just like squeeze Nim in, not like, but a little bit, and they don't say anything, I don't think, but they just kind of like hug them in and like give them a little like some soft pets on the head before they get up and the door knocks.
And as you get up and after kind of like giving Nim a squeeze, you go to open the door and you just kind of hear Nim go, "That shouldn't happen again."
Okay, the door
That's
like
just
opens
sassy
and
little
then
thing.
here's how this plays out then. The door opens and as the door's opening, Nim says that and you just see like a Tal standing there with the door open looking back at Nim on the bed. That's what you see when the door opens. And they'll like kind of turn back after like a half a second and say, "Oh, hi, Ark. Good morning."
Ark is like looking past Tal.
Looking for Airfay. That's so funny.
Airfay's not here right now.
Why?
I think they went. The note said that you were going to see Hideaki, right?
Yep, and I'd be right back. Yep.
Okay. They said that they were going to see Hideaki and they would be right back. Is everything okay?
Ark is like looking
Is
like
Ark-
left and right, and then like back in the door.
See the platter of pastry sitting on the desk.
And he does that for like 10 seconds, and then is eventually going to attempt to turn on his heel, and he's like in a forced breath, like to even get it out. He says, "When we're all together, I'll be in my room."
Do you want me to get? I can go and get them, and is not even gonna wait for Ark to say yes or no, and it's just gonna like shuffle over to Hideaki's room to start there.
And if he hears that, he'll kind of like stop and just stand in the hallway.
I mean, given like the way the hallway is and like how do you get down to Airfay's room, you kind of have to like, if you're heading out, Tal's basically going out with you, and you do pass. Instead of going to your room, they head over to Hideaki's, and do y'all just kind of go in?
Yeah, if the door is closed, I would knock. If it's not closed, I would just stand in the doorway and say, "Good morning."
I think what you walk in and hear is I think I know who's behind all this.
Ark's head pops in and says, Why did we not have breakfast?"
I just woke up.
Not that long ago for me.
Same. Everyone, come on in. We have a lot to talk about.
Ark stays at the doorway and says, "Will there be other days that we don't have breakfast?"
Not
on
the plan?
purpose.
Right. That.
Today was a strange day, but I think we should figure out a way to let each other know, maybe if we're not going to make it to breakfast, since we're not always in the same building.
The plan is to have breakfast, correct?
Yes.
Do
Today
you want
was...
some pastries?
No.
I'll be right back. And she's gonna like go to her room, get the plate of pastries, and bring them back.
I
Right here.
do I notice that something is bothering Ark? Because this is a line of questioning that I don't think we've ever
Mhm.
gotten.
Yeah.
Sure.
There is
And it
definitely
seems like
an
rather it seems rather like
intensity.
stiff. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is clear. Like, I mean, no perception needed. It's clearly something that Ark is hung up on, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's definitely a focus on it, and it
Yeah.
definitely seems to be bothering them.
If anything, and not to confuse you or anything, but if anything, the closest thing you've heard to this is his like adamant questioning and attitude about like the gods and stuff.
Sure.
Mhm.
That he's just like straightforward. This is where we are here
Yeah.
right now. Boom.
Got it. Anyway, have a seat.
Does it bother you that we weren't at breakfast?
That is the plan. Yes, we have breakfast.
That has been the plan, and I think we want to keep it that way. Is it because it didn't go according to plan?
You seem like think on it for a second. It's like, well, if he like stops, if plans change, it can be okay. But I waited for breakfast for you. And no one said that we were not have breakfast. So the plan was to have breakfast.
That makes sense. Sorry about that, R2.
Yeah, sorry we didn't get there when we usually do.
You don't have to be sorry. Just want to know what the plan is.
You got
I
it.
enjoy getting breakfast with all of you. It's a
Me
good part
too.
of the day.
So, okay. Everyone have a seat.
And I will just add that, like, Hideaki,
Yeah.
seeing for the first time, like, Tal when they came in, seeing bandages on them, seeing
Nim on my shoulders.
Nim on their
He's
shoulder,
sticking-
you just get in your mind's eye, like the last vision that you saw of Tal, racked with psychic pain in matching with your own, that you and Overnosa caused.
Yeah, his he had like a kind of a weak smile on earlier, and then like a puzzled sort of look at Ark too, and then like as Tao walks in, I think it goes, you know, it kind of darkens a little bit. So not to bring up old conversations in regards to threads and connections, but I think I accidentally discovered something. I think I accidentally discovered a few somethings. Tal, remember how we talked the other day about what happened during the Kurshkin fight?
Yeah.
I think it
And then
might
in Tal's
also-
in Tal's head, they're like thinking about like literally everything else about that conversation, about it not really being a conversation. But yes, please go on. In
Yes,
their
of
head,
course.
of course.
Of course. Yeah. Yep. So after everything and my family left, I had a conversation with Overnosa, and it got a bit heated, and he looks over at Overnosa, and I believe that Overnosa pulled away from me and unmanifested.
Waffles is raising his hand.
What's up?
Yes.
Will it mess up the flow of things too much if Ark interrupts here?
Go for it.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I don't want to mess up all the flow.
No, I love it. No, I love it. Go
Get
for
in
it.
there. Insert
Please.
yourself. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
After you say like Ovanoza separated from me or left me, or how you said it, Ark goes. You said your family left. Did it hurt your chest?
Not my chest, Arc 2. But my heart a little bit.
He like
But,
looks up to the ceiling and nods a little.
But also, I think that was my fault. Speaking of
And now
my fault.
Ark's brain was like, so is it my fault?
Oh no!
Oh god!
That's inside the
Be
head.
careful what you say around a 5-year-old.
Why does everything have to be so complicated?
Oh no!
This pain. Okay, sorry.
Me too. We're here for it. So that separation caused some considerable pain for me. And if I'm being honest, I was okay with it. I was pushing a little bit, maybe too far, and wanted to know where the line was. And he looks over at Tal.
Tal pieces things together quite quickly
Sure.
and is growing increasingly angry.
So, last night, just me, myself, and I visited in my dreams, a misty forest.
Ark rolls his eyes.
And Tal, I met your patron. And we made a deal. And because of that deal, I think I might know who's behind these attacks on the school.
So you always knew and you realized it in a dream in your subconscious.
I don't think so, R2. I think it was given to me.
What did they look
But Tal, who said that? I was like
It was me.
lost in thought. I was
Tal.
so like
no,
zoomed in.
Tal through
Yeah.
Tal through gritted teeth
Okay.
is asking you what did they
Yeah.
look like.
Dark, really tall up to the sky, almost into the night. A few different voices, threatening
It's like that.
voices.
You said threatening voices?
One of them. They really care about you, I think.
Ark is just nodding along.
Arafe is watching this interaction because she can tell that Tal is pissed.
I will add one just flavor here. What kind of cat folk are you, Tal?
Sharp-eared catfolk.
And what is it about sharp-eared cat folks again? They have very expressive ears, I believe.
Yeah.
Cool. I will say
Big expressive ears that move with my moods and perk up at any unexpected sound.
Exactly.
So
they
you're
move on
not
their own.
good at hiding that you're angry right now.
Oh no,
Tal
100% no.
Yeah, are very expressive and making it very clear what is happening here.
Mm-hmm.
Tal, I'm really sorry. I hurt you. I didn't. No, it doesn't matter that I didn't know.
What deal did you make?
In exchange for this information, a promise to never hurt you again.
They'll look at Arafe a little bit still with anger, like they're still angry, and they say to Hideaki, but looking at Arafe, you shouldn't make promises you can't keep, and is going to turn around and leave. They're too angry right now.
Ark rolls out of the way of the door because he was sitting in front of it. Ark's just like silently nodding for the 5 seconds to this awkward silence hangs. And then he breaks it and says, well, we can find out who it is later, but you think you manifested this patron because you know what they are from Tal? It's exactly the same.
Above table, I don't think I ever described. I don't think I did.
I think you just said that you saw like
You saw like
figure.
3 different
I
figures
saw,
or
yeah,
something?
like a
No,
shadowy
I don't think
figure
3.
or something like
Just
that.
like a figure.
Yeah, I
Okay,
described the
whatever.
force for sure.
Yeah,
but yeah,
the
I
force
don't think I ever
telling us, but-
physically described them.
Then I rescind
that-
the statement.
Makes it
I thought you did.
Yeah, because Ark would have remembered that.
100%.
100%.
Then instead he will ask what the figure was like the person behind the attacks.
Well, so they kept calling it Stone Ghost.
Stone Ghost.
Yeah. And what's interesting is I think I saw a glimpse of something that happened.
Who is they?
Something that's they would be and just in general the gremlins, right? Because I saw Kershkin, but also like
You heard the only thing you heard was Kershkin's voice saying
Yep.
Stone Ghost.
Stone Ghost.
So
To
just
someone?
Kershkin's said it. Two other gremlins.
That's what I mean specifically.
Yeah.
Okay. So and it sounds unbelievable, but I heard Kershkin's voice talking to some of the other gremlins, talking about this stone ghost being mad and their face appearing in walls.
Kershkin's dead, right?
Yes. And
Very
buried
dead.
on the school grounds.
Ark speaks up and says, that's rather improbable. Kershkin is dead.
Yeah, I agree. So is pretty much everything else too.
Everything else is
Improbable,
dead.
but not impossible.
And what do you mean by everything else?
Well, the fact that I went to this forest at all and talked to Tal's patron is pretty improbable. Don't you
Agreed.
agree?
Oh, that. Okay. I thought you meant everything else.
Yeah,
was
everything
dead.
else
I'm
was
like,
dead.
what? I missed that part of the vision.
Wait. The entire Magaambya, Natambu, everything's dead.
I saw visions of the apocalypse.
So Ghost is like, wait, I'm not there yet. That's chapter 5.
I'm not done with my plotting yet. You gotta come.
My pottery class.
I'm called the Stone Ghost because I'm really good at carving like stone.
I'm great at pottery.
A red wall pops up and says, "You must be level 8 before going to this part of the
Exactly.
I don't know why, but I'm the Banksy of statues was what popped in my head when you said stone.
Amazing.
Yes, I'm in it.
Amazing. So, I think we need to. I think we have a couple of options here. Option 1. Both options once tells. Okay. We tell teacher Ott, and we figure out what's next. Or, and correct me if I'm wrong, Sarah, was I given the location specifically of the tunnels, or I just saw the tunnels?
So, you have the first 2 visions, fine. The third vision was, a tunnels, just some
That's right,
form
tunnels,
of
somebody
tunnels.
screaming and
Somebody
purple.
screaming, and then light, coming up on, all you got was like a leg and a little bit of purple coat before the image swirled.
Right. Have I seen someone wear a purple coat before?
You want to make me a flat intelligence?
That's what
check?
Jacob thinks. I'm just saying.
Make me a flat intelligence check.
Can we assume that he's going to give us all this information and I can make one too?
Do you talk about the third vision?
Not yet. Bleh. Sorry, I love you, Waffles.
I want to also help.
I want to
No.
also help the thing. You said flat intelligence, right? That's a. Where's my intelligence? 14.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see. With the 14, I'm gonna say it's gonna take you a hot second to put it together.
Okay. So, and I also saw these tunnels underneath. You know, like I don't know what's underneath, but
Like the ones the bugs came through yesterday?
I think so, maybe. But also, I heard someone scream that was wearing like a purple coat. But I don't.
As you say it out loud, it's like kind of now cogs are turning and you're starting to put it together.
I think. And bear with me here. I'm trying to be better about making assumptions. I think Ignacy might be in trouble.
Should we go look for him?
I think we should very casually, without trying to raise any alarm.
Perhaps Hideaki should go wake him up.
Show me your fan fiction and maybe.
You want this fan fiction to happen? I can make it happen.
Next Kofi goal, just to hit Ignacy.
Anyway, I'm. Okay, so also selfishly, I don't know what I'm gonna do about. It kind of looks towards the door. I've messed up a lot. but I'm not going to give up on them.
Well, you can't. We have
No
breakfast
R2.
tomorrow.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Heart.
You're absolutely right, R2.
Some mistakes take time to fix. But if they want to be fixed, that's what's important.
All right.
Let's maybe go find Tal if they're ready for us.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Also, I don't know if this counts, but if I just hurt them, I might be in really deep trouble right now.
You don't feel any different right now.
He doesn't fucking know that. I'm going for it.
Just letting it know.
He's just like, I don't know. Yeah, go ahead.
So y'all are going to go hunt down Tail, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Tail.
Hi.
Hi,
Talk
Tal.
to me. Where did
Hello.
Tal run off to?
Tal kind of stormed out of the dorm. Outside. Wanting to get some air, kind of wandering a little bit, not really sure where to go. They're fuming. They end up wandering to the gazebo, the big gazebo in the middle of campus where they had their first and second picnic. That general area. And they are kind of pacing fairly close to where these picnics happened, as if fate drew them there, and put Nim down on the ground, and it's just kind of like pacing in front of them. And after like an awkward like 15 seconds of just this pacing silence, they're gonna squat down in front of Nim and say, "What are you all doing?"
Protecting you. That was
But
really
put-
dangerous.
I don't want him to get hurt too. I don't want him to get stuck doing something that he didn't want to do, that he didn't get signed up for.
They kind of look at you for a second. But you already decided that when you chose them.
I know I did.
This doesn't change that. Your fates are connected. Your strings are tied.
How can I change that? Because I didn't realize this went both ways.
Well, it shouldn't go both ways anymore.
They're like they're like squatted down on their feet, and they kind of like rock back and like sit down on their butt. Did you hurt him? Did you hurt him at all?
No. And they kind of... Well...
What?
Mama showed them how you hurt. Or how he hurt you. And said not to do it again. And we said if he promised, we'd answer a question. Or I think you would say they would answer a question. So and that strikes you. I don't know if how you processed what Hideaki said, but it was not like it was like a. It's not that they gave him information for like it sounded a little bit like reversed, and so Nim's explanation is the other way around. Is they said promise and we'll give you a boon, like a present, as opposed to necessarily what Hideaki explained.
You said it that way on purpose. Why are you blowing my spot?
Maybe you shouldn't. Yeah, never mind. Okay.
And it does strike you as distinctly different. Like, according to that, they were just like, don't hurt her.
Present. Don't hurt her. Here, have present.
Christmas.
You agree? No, it's like here. You agree to not hurt her.
For attending the seminar.
Yeah, you
I don't like fruit.
Yeah.
We will thank you
mangoes
for
for
not
me,
doing
please.
that.
Here's your swag bag for entering the forest.
So, Tal is quiet for a long time. And the kind of like moments of very heavy frustration and anger kind of washes a little bit. And they're like picking at the grass. They sat down on the grass and they look up a little bit towards Nim, and they say, "Do you think he learned anything from that? I don't know what you showed him, but what did you show him?"
I don't know if he learned. That's his decision. We showed him. They showed him how he hurt you.
I was like thinking through like all of the physical altercations that they've been in over the past like months.
We're at school.
Right?
Like
Well, school hurt
seeing
me.
the processing on your face, Nim just kind of adds,
Last night. That's why I left.
Oh. Oh.
He tore at his soul, and since your fates are connected, that hurt you. And it nearly killed you.
No, though. No, there's no way he could have known. Right?
They just needed to make sure it wouldn't happen again. So we let him know. He didn't hurt him. We just let him know.
Like, I was just like sitting with their head in their hands, just so full of every emotion physically possible. Okay.
y'all don't find Hal in the dorms and can kind of like increase the search outwards. If it could be around now, if you'd like, or if there's anything else
yeah.
before they find you.
That is perfect timing.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Tal's just sitting on the grass by the big gazebo with their Nim sitting in the grass in front of them.
I think Hideaki will make a point to have Arafin and R2 walk up first.
Arafin notes this.
Ark will walk up and
Oh,
just
nope,
kinda
you
stand
got-
there.
Understand. Ta?
Sorry, I just needed to talk to Nim.
That's all right. Do you need more time?
No.
And they'll stand up.
No,
I think time in general is probably what we all need. I think.
And Tal, you recall a invitation, should you so choose, to visit the circus while they're in town.
Yep. The first thing they're going to do, though, before they do that, is they're going to walk past Airfay, and they're going to walk past Ark, and kind of, as they pass them, give them both like a little smile, and they are going to walk and stand in front of Hideaki. You did something very selfish, and it almost got me killed.
Yes, I did.
You've said a lot of things that are very mean. Even if you didn't mean them to be.
I agree.
You're also very self-centered, and it's very frustrating.
You are correct.
I want to know what you're sorry about. And they're not really like making eye contact with you. They're like, if your eyes are like, they're like looking basically at like your chin or your chest. They just they can't. They're looking up at you, but not like at you.
I'm sorry for not understanding the ramifications of my actions. I'm sorry for hurting you, specifically. I'm sorry for hurting anyone that I've hurt, including Miriama. I'm sorry if I hurt you, Overnoza. And I don't just say these things. I made a promise to you that I would mean these things.
Remember, we're not keeping promises we don't keep anymore. And they'll look in your eyes for that one.
And
right?
He'll look, his blue eyes look directly at yours. Right.
And they'll just step forward and give you a big hug.
Airfay's gonna let out a breath she didn't realize she was holding.
That's a scary ass forest.
It was not that scary to you, Tal.
It wasn't that bad when I was young. Maybe, don't make my patron mad.
I think it's the beginning of a wonderful relationship. You just
I hope
got
you never
smiles.
see them again as they step back.
I hope you're right.
And they smile, I think, for the first time in like
A while.
2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Basically.
yeah.
But they turn around and they like look like they remember something. And they look back at Hideaki and they look back at the two of you very excited and they say, would you all like to go meet my family and see the circus?
Yes. Also, wait, hold on. I need to. You missed some stuff. Hold on. So yes, we can totally do that. We can even do like, is this like a thing we can walk and do now? Like, is that like we can walk and talk?
Maybe.
Is that like
what do you say? What do you finish? What do you think?
So, I think I know who's behind the attacks at the school. Your patron helped you out with that, and I think we need to figure out what our move is from that perspective, because we could tell teacher
Why
Ott.
don't we just tell the teacher?
Yeah, well, here's my only hesitation. I'm not saying that like this is what we should do, but it took us literally 9 months for them to take us seriously in regards to this.
They're not
Because-
being more they're more serious now than they've ever been. Of course they're going to take our word for it.
I hope you're right.
What's the worst that happens if they don't? We know what's going to happen. You know something.
Ignacy will die.
It's better than what. What? What?
Yeah, we kind of
Okay.
left out
Tal
that
wasn't there for
part.
that.
I was on my way that direction. So, Tal, your patron showed me glimpses of the past, the present, and the future, including
Okay.
including Kirchkin talking to this stone ghost, or talking about the
Okay.
stone ghost to the other gremlins, which means I was,
Okay.
and he swallows the phrase "I was right." He swallows the shit out of it.
Tal notices.
Very
Very proud. Silently very proud.
very proud. Please don't tell him that. So the gremlins were definitely connected to the bugs. So bugs, gremlins, stone ghost, tunnels.
Okay.
Also, I think Ignacy might be in trouble
Okay.
because I heard screaming in the tunnels, and he's the only one with very pretty purple clothes like that.
Okay.
Don't tell him I said that. If we found him and
Fan fiction.
Okay. Okay.
I know it's a lot.
We need to tell someone then.
All right.
We have to tell
Teacher
someone.
Ott? Teacher Ott?
Sure. Yeah. I'm okay with that.
Unless someone
We have
else
to tell
wants.
someone.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's where we're headed then.
Arafe's
Circus?
mental note at this point is Hideaki just wants to tell Teacher Ott so he can say "I told you so" later, doesn't he?
Probably.
You know what? I'm going to retroactively say that Arafe like whispers that to Ark.
God damn it! That's terrible!
Incredible.
No!
And Art just says probably out loud, but
Not whispering, just probably.
Oh my god.
Okay.
I fucking love this game.
So
Yeah. So
You're
Tal
off to
said,
find-
Tal would be like, the order of operations is go find Teacher Ott, take all of these people to the circus because I need to go so bad. I need to see my family so bad right now.
Yeah.
There's a little
So-
too much and I just want to go.
yeah, I just need this right. So,
Yeah.
for
Yeah, he
ease,
can
y'all go to find Teacher Ott, who you see at this point a certain like base of operations is being set up outside of Tireless Hall. There is sort of like a table that's been brought out under like an awning with notes and sort of like truly a base of operations with lists. You see teachers coming in and out, you see some students, and it's rather early in the morning and still there is action. You see Teacher Ott conversing with an individual with a mask on their hip, so you think like at the very least attendant or higher, probably higher. And they're conversing, and they get sent out as he turns to see you all, and he goes, how are you all feeling? And you see Teacher Ott is tired. I don't think Teacher Ott got a lot of sleep last night, kind of deal.
Understandable.
But he still gives you attention and time.
Still not super great. Didn't sleep well for good reason, actually. I think we have a lead. And by a lead, I mean I think we might know who's behind all this.
Well, we don't know who's behind all this. We just have clues.
Lots
What
of
do you
clues. And for the sake of brevity, he
Relay.
will word
Okay.
vomit.
Vomit.
So you see Teacher Ott kind of face like scrunch at Stone Ghost, but not in a way of like, oh, ringing a bell, but in a way of like, that's not something I've heard. He turns to write it down, kind of ripping a piece of paper out of a notebook and writing Stone Ghost ? He kind of looks you over, sees that you need some rest still,
Yep.
and says,
Bordering on delirium at this
are-
point.
we are still working on some of the preliminary pieces. We're going to be organizing some cohorts to explore the tunnels, because we found that they expand rather larger than originally. So we're trying to identify all of the areas. We're having groups. Yes.
Can multiple cohorts go together?
There's a lot of areas to explore, so we will see what can be done.
Okay.
We haven't finalized the list. I will see if we have men, not men, I should say. We have, bodies to spare in that regard, but I will have some individuals research this at the library, see if anything comes up about Stone Ghost. If you saw something about the tunnels, then we'll be mindful.
And someone check on Ignacy just to make sure he's all right.
I was just about to ask.
Yes, of course. He'll kind of like immediately flag someone down, and you see them kind of simultaneously someone runs off to go find and check on Ignacy. Somebody
Tell them Hideaki sent you.
Why would you?
People going to the Archon Library. As Star takes the most satisfied drink of water that there ever was.
I hope it tastes like garbage. I hope you hate that drink of water.
My girl might be ace, but she is a wingman, okay?
Let's go. So he does ask some probing questions about how these visions came to be, but he does not ask a lot of there does come from a basis of trust, and he is saying okay, he's not you're not wasting my time. He's okay. And there is a very distinction that you notice, a very important distinction, that he's takes what you say and is allocating resources immediately to continue that investigation into those, that pieces of information that you identified. But then after kind of completing all of that, he looks at you all and says, we will start tomorrow, so get some rest for the day.
We're gonna go to the circus.
Tal and at that, Tal, who was kind of getting a little exhausted from all the talking, was and just gets a surge of excitement again.
You see a tired but truly happy for you, kind of a have fun, enjoy it. And then he kind of gets pulled away into another person that comes running up to him. So I will also double check though, although Tal suggested the circus and Hideaki said yes, Airfate just also agreeing. Ark, how do you react to circus news?
It's the anime.
You
and
know
I think
what
I think
a circus is?
in fiction too, after this, I think Tal would re-ask, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
The whole group. And
but
this is our beach
moment
episode.
Of there is honestly, there is a fascination, I would think, with a new experience, question mark. You've heard of the circus, obviously. You're educated in that, but you've never experienced a circus before.
Yeah. Ark intensely wants to attempt to stay here and help teacher Ott and research stuff, and because he thinks that is best towards his main goal and Iska's goal. But
I think teacher Ott would, if you kind of made those motions or intent to do so, will kind of place a firm hand and be at the very least, watch over them because they do not look well rested.
yeah, he would he kind of had already decided it in his head, but he would kind of chagrined nod and just put his eyes down and say, okay, I will do that to the best of my ability.
Perfect.
A quick note. and as like this conversation ends with Teacher Ott, and the sort of like what I assume would be like a sidebar with Ark and Ott. I think Hideaki's maybe for the first time really looking around and seeing like not the chaos, but like the investigation and processing that. And he just kind of says out loud to everyone, "It feels good to not be alone in this chaos anymore." And I think his eyes well up a little bit.
Ark's inner dialogue. Yes, like breakfast today.
Ark, I'm so. Oh no, you said that inner on the
Inner dialogue.
I was about to have Ark apologize again, but that was inner. So off to the circus then.
If everyone at least says okay, Tal is taking you to the circus.
Yay!
I've been waiting for this for for months.
So I will ask. Oh, I cannot hear anything you're saying.
Oh, I'm just saying circus time, like over and over again. I'm so sorry. That's me.
Incredible.
Circus time.
Don't even worry about it. It's just circus time.
Circus time.
Sorry. Just checking in. So with that, you all gather, probably not even gather anything, but some tired, some exhausted, but the journey through Natambu and out of Natambu takes a little bit. You can perhaps decide to rent some elephant birds if you do not wish to, make the whole trek.
Yeah, because it's like a decent ways out.
It's like it's a decent ways because you have to go through all of Natambu then out a little bit. It's on the outskirts of Natambu. So we'll say you rent some elephant birds and head to the circus. Did you have something, Hideaki?
Yeah, I gotta talk to my dragon.
Is this like on the way, like a mental combo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, certainly. Sort of like mid, like, I'm sure like stories and excitement and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay.
So, how are you feeling?
I'm fine.
Wait, I didn't answer your question from earlier. Like you absolutely steps over it. Wait, I totally didn't answer your question from earlier about where I was, but you were probably listening.
I heard.
Sorry.
You answered them. That's dangerous, Hideaki. That was very dangerous.
Which part?
Entering a realm that I could not reach you in. I could not feel you in. I would not have been able to protect you.
So, what should we do about that? Because it's probably, well, hopefully it's the last time there. Because, whoo, boy,
It's
that
like
was.
What? And you see, this is kind of very much like
The second
Over knows
time,
a
yeah.
little bit on his back foot. Like he's always very, very confident, but there's definitely this sort of like underlying worry and a sort of like intensity as he kind of mentally turns to you and says, "What are the chances that when I distance myself from you
is exactly when you are taken somewhere I cannot reach you.
I don't know. But I suppose that's just another reason for us to get stronger together. And actually, I think I had to.
Sorry, go ahead.
So actually, I think I have to thank you. In a weird way, if you didn't do what you did, we wouldn't be this much closer to finding out the truth.
Perhaps. And you think, based on that, like, he's still very distracted?
I know you.
Do me a favor.
I think he's taken aback by that like completely of just like, yeah.
See if you can find any followers of fate. I may have some questions for them.
Really? Okay. Sure. By the way, are you feeling okay? I know between the picnic
Fine. Like a very quick, like I'm fine.
and I think like he'll let it go. Just nod. All right. Thanks for coming back.
And like you can just feel him, like his brains are churning, which is part of why he's been rather quiet. And then Hideaki, or no, sorry,
Yes.
Arafe along the journey, as well. Do you want to take a second to talk to Ark?
Yeah, so she had gotten the opportunity to check in with Tal and an opportunity to check in with Hideaki, but she hadn't gotten the chance to check in with Ark yet. So as they're walking or riding, she would just, go up next to Ark and just be like, "How are you after yesterday? I got the chance to talk to Tal and Hideaki, but I just wanted to check in with you too."
I seem okay. My chest is weird, but otherwise I am better than Hideaki and Tao.
I mean, that is very true. But what do you mean your chest feels weird? Does it hurt? Are you injured?
No, it does not hurt. I'm not injured.
Okay.
But it does feel weird.
Did you get to see Iska after the battle? Was she all right?
No, she had left.
Oh. She's gonna maybe put a couple things together here. Is that when your chest started to hurt?
I don't think so. It was a little after.
I'm sorry we didn't check in with you last night, and I'm really sorry we missed breakfast with you this morning. We should have gotten a hold of you to let you know we weren't coming.
That's okay. There's no reason to check in last night.
Well, you're my friend. And I should have made sure you were okay too. Whether or not you thought you needed it. Just check on you because I care.
He gives like his
Yes.
slight, his half nod, half bow, and says, that is your choice.
Which I think Arafe kind of recognizes, like half nod is kind of Ark's like, okay, I'm kind of done with this. And so she will, or at least what she starts to think she recognizes. I shouldn't say that's Ark's thing. That's just what she recognizes.
Sure.
And so she'll give him his mount, say, to the circus then.
Sure. Let's go.
Sorry. So you, like, first time me looking at my notes since this whole session, being like,
I have not.
okay,
rolled
now,
one die this
now we
entire
got
time.
to have the.
Now
okay.
we get to the. Now we get to the notes.
Now
We
we're
were
running
now we
prep
get
session.
to-
Oh, notes. What's a note?
See, remember when we said we could
What
ramp
is
if you're ever
prep?
not ready? That's
Yeah.
we're good.
No, I'm seeing. No, this is fantastic.
We're professionals.
Yeah.
You get closer, and it's you see it obviously before you really get towards it, as on the outskirts of Natambu, and some of like the more because Natambu is very, very much interlaced with a river. So as you get out of it in sort of one of the fewer open like plains of dry land that is available basically on the outskirts, you see a large circus tent from rather far away, and as you approach, you see clear, organized in sort of like almost like on the outskirts of this piece is 1, 2, 3, another side 4, 5, 6 caravans of wagons with painted exteriors, some with cloth coverings, some wooden and painted, and out a sort of like fence put up around the perimeter, and in front a gate, not a gate, like a stand, almost like an entranceway, with a large banner that says Sojourning Song. Welcome to Sojourning Song.
Tal's been bouncing for the last like 5 minutes.
Hideaki would if he wasn't so hurt.
We just keep hearing ow, 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 ow.
Bear's still walking. Slow
There
down.
is, on the outside of the space, there is, you see, you're not the only ones here. There are areas that horses are hitched. There is a sort of like makeshift like stable like space. And Tal, this is all incredibly familiar to you. This is it. This is and then this is clearly the family set up for a show. But you see some families, you see some couples, you see all sorts of individuals heading in. You see that inside it's already beginning to be bustling, and you also see, as you find a space to kind of take care of your elephant birds, there at the ticket counter at the entrance of the circus is your uncle, manning the counter.
Okay. Okay. So here's how the order of operation goes. We get here. Tal is basically busting at the seams with excitement. We park our like elephant birds and whatever. And Tal kind of like takes like a couple of steps, backwards from all of you, and like spreads their arms wide in front of like the whole event and says, "Welcome to my home." And it's gonna turn around and like take 2 steps and like stop as they see who is at the ticket booth.
Tyrugan, is that correct? Tyrugan or Tyrugan?
Tyrugan.
Tyrugan has not noticed you. Seems to be finishing up a transaction with just an elderly man who seems to be exchanging copper and silver for some tickets. Just hasn't noticed you yet.
And I think the rest of you would kind of hear them like psyching themselves up a little bit, being like, okay, just like quietly, like to themselves, as like maybe like a couple seconds go by, and then they start leading you all forward towards the ticket booth.
Welcome to the Tell.
Hello, Uncle.
Hello.
It's good to see you. It's been some time.
It has. Are you here to attend the circus?
I guess so. I brought some friends to. I was going to show them around.
You have a lovely home.
Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 2 silver each.
I have to pay to get into the circus?
Airface stops because she didn't register that they asked you to pay.
Hideaki just goes, "No, you don't," and hands him 4 silver.
No. I take it off of the counter.
Kind of like looks at you.
This is my home. I don't have to pay to go into my own home.
Of course not. Dearest Tao, welcome. We don't need to make ends meet. Just waves a hand.
I'll put 2 silver on there for Hideaki. And then I will give 2 silver back, and I will pull out the remaining 4 silver for the other 2 and like slam them on the counter. Kind of like glare at him a little bit.
Are you here to
silver.
also attend the show? And just for clarity, like the way it works, right? There is the menagerie that is the sprawling, like, the side shows, and then there are events throughout the day that are the big tent events.
So there's
Okay.
the carnival and
If
the
I
show.
had-
Yes.
Okay, if I had known that, so kind of rewinding a little bit, I slam money down,
Yeah.
and it would be enough money for the 3 of them to basically partake in whatever they wanted.
Ticket. You could get into the circus,
Like,
and then
I slam it down,
tickets for
and
the
it's
show.
like it's exactly,
You
and it's
didn't
like
have to-
just my hand is there, and like it's raised up, and it's like more than just the silver.
Thank you, and turns like the rest of you. Hope you enjoy.
I was gonna hang back a little.
Thank you.
To are you hanging back with Tyrugan in particular, or okay?
Yeah, like
Um,
letting everyone else kind of walk in and trying to be
Yeah.
further away from them and close to Hadouken.
I don't-
Yep.
I think Hideaki kind of is. R2, you ready?
I'll be in a second.
Tal, I want to give you an opportunity to not necessarily leave yet.
Tal would want to make sure their friends go inside first.
Okay.
Just kind of making sure that so like they wouldn't like stand rigidly in the spot, but they would only go like maybe a step or 2 to the side and make sure,
Like
he
wait
wasn't
at the
gonna
gate,
pull
basically.
something.
Maybe. Like you can go in and wait at the gate.
I kind of okay. So if there's like the ticket booth is right in front of us, I go like 2 steps to the side, basically.
Sure.
Okay.
So I'm like I'm nearby, but
Yeah, Ark's just gonna stand there and look for a moment and say, will you be watching the show with us too?
Depends. I think if my shift is up, I probably have work. I'll probably be backstage.
Understood. Ark will put 2 silver down. His last 2 silver. He got 0 coin after this. But he puts 2 silver down and says, "This is for you. Nobody should pay to go in their own house."
You see Tao smile so gratefully at you.
Sass. I love it.
You see
Oh my god.
what was a attempting at being amicable Tyrugan process, stare at the silver, like legitimately, like body language shifting to this sort of like outright anger, and he just stares at it and looks at you.
Ark gives like a half nod, half bow, and begins to walk away.
I feel like as we're walking in, Arafay is like gonna lean into Hideak and going, "We're so getting thrown out of here later."
And
And
It's
just
gonna
a,
be the
just
best
a,
story ever.
just a,
well, hold on. So
hold on. Just mine's about how Ark said it, if that's okay.
okay.
Just to like make sure. It's very for I don't know if Sass came out in Waffles' voice, but for Ark, he literally thinks that people shouldn't have to pay to go in their own house, and he drew the connection that this guy was going to have to pay to go in because he was trying to make Tal to
Sure.
pay to go in.
Yeah, that's
Sure,
how I
but
read it.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
absolutely comes off as
sure.
Interpretation versus read
Intent.
is
Exactly.
For sure,
exactly.
for sure, for sure.
exactly.
So
God, I love Ark.
Tyrogen stares
He's
at
the
this, and you
best.
see him visibly get angry and clench his fist and kind of stare at it and watch you, like, kind of start walking in.
I purposely make eye contact with Tyrugan as he like walks away.
As you do, he was about to like turn around to like, you're not sure, but as he kind of like turns and like makes eye contact with you, what's your expression?
Those ears like.
Oh god. This is the first time that I think Tal has ever looked smug ever in their entire life.
Incredible.
They
And
look-
grabs
they-
the 2 silver, like steps out of the ticket booth and walks up to you and just kind of like pushes it into your chest basically,
Mhm.
and in a very like low voice goes, "So it's not enough that we have to change our entire schedule to come see you and lose massive amounts of money for the well-being of all of this entire family? But you go and you put your grandmother in danger. Good job." And leaves the ticket booth unattended before like finding, like you can see him like kind of like flagging somebody down, like waving them back over to have somebody like attend it as he kind of just storms off.
Douche canoe.
Can Ark cast a spell?
Yeah.
Where are the coins? I know the coins are in Tal's hand. Where are the other coins?
They're not. No, Tal didn't grab them. They're on the floor in front
the
of
counter?
In front. No. They're on the ground.
But like,
in front of Tal.
are the rest of the coins in the counter?
He had taken them and like put them away.
Like, does he have a pouch on his belt, or are they in the counter? I guess.
I would say that they probably wouldn't leave
Change.
money unattended. It's probably on them.
Okay. Ark is gonna take 2 actions to cast magnetic attraction, and he's gonna take the 2 coins on the floor and the pouch of coins on this guy's belt and magnetically attract them to the any kind of metal at all that he can find on the bench.
Can you pick the spell?
Yeah. There. You adjust your magnetic polarity, plucking daggers from hands and coins from belts. The targeted objects fly to your location, letting you catch them, blah, 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 blah. I'll make a disarm
Oh, so they would
check.
come to you.
Well, later on it says, I'm looking for it. Instead of drawing the objects to yourself, you can polarize a single metal object within range, designating it as a lodestone, and cause the metal objects to fly to it.
Okay. So I would say that you kind of like within 60 feet.
I think they were specifically saying like something on the like ticket booth, right?
Is that
That's
Is that
the
what you're
idea,
saying?
because Art doesn't want them. He's just trying to get them to go back to the ticket booth to make a point.
so as this occurs, like tell me why Ark is doing this. I want insight. I will also add that Terugin kind of spoke in a rather like low, like a definitely a pissy tone, but like directly like at Tal.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm.
Oh yeah, and like Tal is a little bit stiff.
Okay. Can I slightly change it, knowing that was low and directly at Tau?
Yeah.
I would like to make the 2 coins on the ground fly and magnetically attach to his belt, like where the coin pouch is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And the reason Ark is doing that is because he attempted to pay this person, and he wants them to take the money. He like hyper doesn't understand why he attempted to pay them, and then the guy gave it to Tau. Like Ark didn't even get his own money back.
Right.
Because there's no sense to it.
Yeah. No, I understand. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. No, absolutely beautiful. Okay, so
I
you
get
do
it,
that,
and Tal's
like-
gonna interpret it in a completely different way, and I hope you're
I
ready
like
for
that.
that.
I like how this guy is trying to make a point, and Ark is just honestly trying to pay him.
I just want to give you
Give you
money.
the tax. I
But
just
no.
want to
Told
pay
me
the
I have
tax.
to pay.
There should be no
I love it.
check for this because they're unattended. The 2 coins I'm actually trying to
Yeah,
do
the
is-
2 coins on the ground unattended going to his belt, like absolutely.
Yeah.
I would say absolutely. So that happens, and I'm gonna like for now I'm gonna say he doesn't notice it as he's like really heatedly like walking away.
Yeah.
And he does wave somebody else, so there's like one of like the young like one of the people that work at the circus basically kind of like comes running up afterwards. So there's like a little bit of a pause before they come running up, and then they're like, Tal!
That kind of like Tal's fists had been like clenched at their sides pretty tightly, and I'm assuming a voice that they recognize.
Yeah, it's somebody that you definitely know.
Yeah. Would like turn to wherever the voice is and like wave, maybe not as enthusiastically as they might desire. And I wouldn't like run up to them again. Like they probably
Just
would
stiff a little
have-
like processing. Yeah.
Yeah. And before there's any sort of like interaction or anything like that, they would turn to Art, and say,
You didn't have to do that. But I'm glad you did.
Pay for him to go in the house?
I shouldn't have had to pay to come here. And we have a... He doesn't like me very much. So I think he was trying to just be mean. And
Sorry, roll please. Duval, thank you.
whether you meant it to or not, it was nice to see him not get what he wanted.
Ark's like partially confused, but kind of drawing the lines. Says, well, if it helped, you're welcome.
I think it did.
You see the kid, and you recognize, it takes you a second because he's kind of like had like a little bit of a growth spurt.
Yeah, it's been like what, 9 months or something like that.
It's been like 9 months, so it's absolutely kind of like, oh my god, you like hi, kind of like a thing. But even if you're not like fully there to do that, you know, he's really excited to see you as he runs up, and he like knows that he has to like attend like the booth, but he's still pretty young, so you see him kind of like and then like seeing somebody else kind of pass by like near the entrance of the gate, just kind of calls out like, Tal's here, and then kind of like gives you like a really happy wave, and then like this really awkward like, okay, I'm gonna go attend the booth now, and
wait, where's my brother?
kind of like looking at the sun, like seeing what time it is. It's just like, you're probably running the one of the sideshows. I don't remember.
Okay.
And like,
Okay.
What? Yeah, and you'd probably know like, your brother probably does one of like 2 sideshows. Like you can tell me one of the things that he does.
He for sure does like face painting or something.
Yes,
like that.
perfect.
100%.
Yes.
Absolutely. Something that is far underneath his actual artistic skill.
Yes, okay,
Soldiers,
perfect. So he's
though.
face painting.
Yeah.
And he says that, and he's like, I'm probably face painting. And he's like, okay, sorry. And like turns to like, this is like people like coming up, and you already kind of hear like word being passed around as you come in.
Mm-hmm. I would head over and catch up with the others.
Okay. Follow me, and I promise I'll give you a tour of the entire place. But there's someone you need to meet. There's a lot of people. You're going to meet pretty much. You can meet whoever you want to, but there's at least 4 people who you need to meet.
As you start entering the oh my god, not caravan, what's outside the
Carnival?
the tent? Carnival. That was like, what's the other C word? The carnival outside.
Chupacabra?
Yes.
I was gonna say more worth words, but anyway.
You see a couple things. You clearly see kind of like one tent designated as like a medical tent, kind of off to the sides, not in like the main thing, but you see like, okay, well, like there's that. You see beer and confection like things around near the entrance and like scattered throughout. You see merchandise conveniently located kind of like on either end of like the entrances to the place. You know, you see little like clay mugs that are clearly handmade with love, but artistically so, that have a sort of like stamped in like Sojourning Song Circus like logo.
It's the Renaissance Festival.
On them.
It
It
is
is
so
so Renaissance Festival.
It's basically Ren Fair.
Absolutely. But as you start entering through some of like the more like the main thoroughfare, and the way these like kind of the way they line up both like the caravans and things, they kind of section this off into like these basically these rows that all lead you to towards the big tent. And there is you can see like from these main little areas where there's now all of these sideshows. There is and everything, even though you've paid to enter the circus itself, like every quote unquote mini game is like has a sign that it's like basically like 2 copper to play. And you see face painting. Well, you will see face painting, and there is you know, arm wrestling, there's games of chance, there's games of cards, there's games of all sorts of things like juggling and like, you know, all of these are sort of like engaging like things for all levels, things for the gamblers, there's things for the parents, there's things for the kids, and very, very kind of conveniently like spaced out and very, for those that think of it in that sense, smartly laid out, engaging. You have the beer next to like the stuff with the parents or like the more adult like, you know, games are, and just very, very, very much everything being
Oh yeah, yeah,
very,
yeah. You got
very
the cotton
much
candy machines next to where
yeah,
the kids play.
yes, absolutely.
Overnoses. Sorry, Hideaki's just like, I've only read about cotton candy.
And there is a sort of like
real?
layer that is as these obviously this being the front, and then kind of to the sides of like the main tent, which is currently closed and with like one person kind of stationed outside to like not yet let people in. You do kind of see a couple of wagons not sectioning off, like cornering off the behind the big circus tent, where you do see a couple of things like you hear closer to like some kind of like metal like working or things like that, some kind of like prop workshops and like other kind of more of the behind the scenes things at work back there. Two things that you will notice that do not exist here. There are no fortune tellers. There are no like, you know, like, oh, read your fortune here, find your fate, things like that.
No palm readers, no tarot readers.
No palm readers,
But my
no tarot
fortune
readers.
teller lore.
I never said there were fortune tellers here. I just said that I believe that it was real.
If anybody, I guess none of you all have been in a circus, but that is something, like been to a circus here that anybody can recall, but that is something that typically exists that is not found here. And there is not a sort of like exotic animal sideshow. You do see a sort of like petting zoo and feeding of animals, but you notice, and maybe Tal explains to you, this is actually the animals that are here are like the horses and cattle that go with the caravan. They're not the show, like nothing for the show. It's like, these are the working animals that they use at the caravan that they say, okay, well, we could also make a little bit of like a petting zoo type of thing.
Yeah, they need attention too.
But there is a lack of like a ooh, exotic animal, like, oh, look at this dangerous like thing out in the front anyways.
Arafa's
Welcome
instantly
to the
pulled
Sojourning Song.
to the pygmy goats.
Amazing. And I will say, as you all enter through the caravan, hearing music and laughter and lots of sort of ambiance, if you will, we will pick up next time.
I'm so excited for our beach episode at the circus.